Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Pickleball and Politics, where I combine my quest to stay out of the kitchen with my passion for politics. I told you earlier today I was going to see Nikki Haley tonight, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to call this episode of Pickleball and Politics my night with the Rhinos. I'm going to tell you, it was pouring rain, and this was one of the hardest rallies for me to get through. It really was. I didn't like the crowd. I didn't like the venue. I didn't like the heavy rain. I didn't like that I was hydroplaning getting there. I didn't like a hydroplane coming back. I'm going to tell you, this was a hard rally. It really was. There was heavy police presence, which I didn't quite understand. I mean, abnormal as far as I was concerned. Maybe 40, 50 police officers standing around from all sorts of cities and towns. And interestingly, it was the first rally for every single person I talked to there tonight. They'd be like, oh, well, I saw she was coming. And I'm like, you live in Lowell. You can go over the border and see anybody in New Hampshire. They all seem to be quite starstruck. I found everyone I talked to tonight starstruck. And I guess that's the point of most rallies. Most people haven't been to 20 rallies this year like I have. So I go into them a whole different way. But most people was very, ooh. And I just thought, whoopee. So maybe I'm getting a little jaded. I don't know. But it was a hard rally for me to get through. And I'm going to tell you, I think half of it was the crowd. They were your typical moderate Rhino, Charlie Baker, Massachusetts crowd. They just were. I didn't care for them at all. I didn't like being with them. I had a real jerk beside me. That's another story for another day. One of these days, I'm going to do an episode of the jerks I've encountered at rallies, because that's a whole other separate topic unto itself. There was a big donor gathering beforehand. So perhaps that was the reason for the heavy police presence. There were a lot of CEOs and donors that were there. I guess she needs more money. There were a lot of people. She was selling T-shirts that said, I want to get it right, banned permanently. And those are for the people who've supported her, that they're never going to be welcomed back to MAGA. Oh my gosh, it was enough to drive me crazy. I'm telling you, it was the hardest rally for me to get through. I will say there was no diversity in the crowd at all. None. No diversity. At a Trump rally, completely different. You see all races, all religions, all nationalities. You see everybody at a Trump rally. I didn't see any diversity there tonight. Like I said, it was your typical Massachusetts, old Yankee, Rhino, country club Republican crowd. Don Bolduc, who was Nikki Haley's campaign manager, I believe, in New Hampshire, he gave an opening speech. He came out wicked hard criticism of Donald Trump. Finally, a man in the audience yelled, "Are you just going to insult Trump? Or are you going to tell us about Nikki Haley?" And then they kind of got into a sparring of words, so to speak. That was a little distasteful, actually. It went a little bit too far, I thought. On Don Bolduc's part, I thought he was quite rude to the man who was just saying, kind of what a lot of people were thinking. Are you just here to criticize Trump, or are you going to tell us about Nikki Haley? And then, the governor of New Hampshire came out, Chris Sununu, who once again gave his rah pep rally speech that Nikki is going to win in Super Tuesday and that she's going on to be the first woman president of the United States. And I just thought to myself, Chris, give it a rest, stop. And then all I could think about is, couldn't they find one person in Massachusetts, one Republican that would come up here and say they liked Nikki? No, they had to go to New Hampshire. We had to import Nikki support from New Hampshire, which is sort of crazy. Couldn't believe there wasn't one Massachusetts Republican that would get up in there and go, yeah, Nikki. Anyways, didn't happen. They threw out some T-shirts that were like rocket launches, almost whacked a few people off the head. It was, they stopped throwing them overhead and they started doing it like you throw a rock across a lake, or a stream to get it to go boom, boom, boom. And they almost killed a few people. And when they were throwing out the T-shirts, all I could think of is, Wednesday, there'll be collector's items. I'm telling you, I'm so snarky tonight. I apologize. I'm usually not like this, but between the hydroplaning I told you and everything else, I wasn't into this rally at all. But I told you I was going to come on and talk about it, so I have to come out and talk about it. Okay, Nikki finally came out, rah, 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 to her Joan Jett music. That's her thing, Joan Jett, I guess. And she talked about how she outlasted the 14 fellows, and she had one more fellow to go on Super Tuesday, and she was all excited. It was the same speech I've heard her say before, with no variations, no, I don't want to say growth, but you would think with the different elections and et cetera that it would change a little bit, but it was still the same. She's still talking about Michael and on, he's overseas right now serving. God bless Michael. I don't have any problem with Michael, but it is the same speech I'd heard before. One of the things I did notice is when she mentioned that anybody over 75 should have a competency test to run for office. I'm telling you, the old timers, they weren't clapping for that. They didn't like that at all. That was kind of funny. I would say there were maybe 300 to 400 people in the room, give or take. A lot of younger people, which sort of surprised me. And it was just one of those nights. I told you, I didn't enjoy it. It was my least favorite rally. I even enjoyed seeing Chris Christie more than I liked seeing Nikki Haley again. I've decided I'm not going to any more, except for Donald Trump. I'm not going. Remind me, I'm not going to any more rallies. Anyway, Super Tuesday will be here before we know it. Nikki Haley's not going to win a single state. And if she cares about her political career, she will come out Tuesday night and say, I didn't win. I got no chance of winning. I'm supporting Donald Trump. Hopefully the deep state will take care of her. If she continues, then it's really so obvious. Not only will her political career be over, but I'll start to wonder, will the deep state take care of her when this is all over? That's all I could think of. It was a long day. I did talk to some people afterwards, and they were like, what do you think? What do you think? Because I talked to them in line, and I was like, don't you like Trump so much better? And they're like, yeah, I don't know. And I go, she's not going to win, so don't waste your vote. And so maybe I converted them. I don't know. It was a long day. As you can see, usually I come in and I'm all really excited about rallies and think it's going to be great. And, this was this and this was this. I wasn't into it at all tonight. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just a little tired. I told you I'm still getting over that little laryngitis and that cold I had. I don't know, but I wasn't into it. That's all I can say. You know where to reach me. You can reach me on X or Twitter, whichever one you call it, at Pickle and Paul. That's P-O-L at the end. You can reach me at Getter or Instagram at Pickleball and Politics. Or you can leave me a message right here on my YouTube channel, Pickleball and Politics. Leave me a message. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Okay? Subscribe. And I guess I'll see you again real soon. Leave me a comment. I love your comments. You leave me a comment, I comment back. If you leave me another one, I comment back. You get the idea. All right. I apologize for my lack of enthusiasm. I just wasn't into it. I got to be honest with you. Got to keep it real. All right. Until next time, I'll see you again soon on Pickleball and Politics.